In the film, you were just talking about people coming and wanting to give up their kids. And in the film, there's a woman who may be Barbara Walker, I'm not sure, talking about that phenomena, that if a mom gives up her kid, she has less to worry about in terms of protecting the kid in these times, in finding food. Can you describe a little bit more just what it was like for you as a human and a filmmaker being there and seeing this phenomena where people are giving up their kids because they're desperate?
Oh, there's probably 6 kids I wanted to bring home with me. One in particular named Anderson, who's this 11-year-old young man who incredible work ethic. You would see him around the compound of the orphanage, getting water and food, and never being asked to do anything, but certainly wanting to contribute to the orphanage. So that's the hardest thing. Is I've done other orphan stories in the past, and you quickly, if you have any kind of heart, you see these children and you think, wow, I'd like to take that home with me, and change that person's life. And of course you can't. It's the one thing that you sort of have to leave behind. But that's probably the hardest thing is getting attached to the people in these environments, and you're only there for a short time, and then you leave, and you have to leave that behind.
Can you tell us a little bit about the struggle that's going on for food? I mean, in your film, there's someone talking about how there's medical equipment being brought in, there's water being brought in. We saw a lot of that, but the cry from the orphanage was, "We need food." And there's a clip in there of a guy who has just hauled food from somewhere, and then there's a wonderful kind of a joyous scene where the women from the neighborhood, let's say, and the people at the orphanage are just blissed out because they got diapers.
Big deal, diapers. Yeah. You can imagine. Sure. I mean, we take diapers for granted, but when you don't have them and you got a bunch of infants and babies in diapers, it's a big deal. So that was kind of neat. One of the biggest problems was because of so much infrastructure has collapsed there, banks and things like that. A lot of money changers are, black market on the street, but it's a very common place for exchanging money. You don't necessarily go to the banks; you just do it on the street. And generally speaking, it's a pretty reliable, safe way to do it. But even the money changers wouldn't change American money because they're the ones that then take that to the bank and change it. And there was no place to do that. And so what started to occur, Barbara Walker and her staff had American money, but they needed to exchange it for Haitian money in order to buy what food was available, and they weren't able to do that. And then, of course, there was the inflation rate totally impacted them as well. So there was a stage there where Barbara refused to pay the new exchange rate. It went from, I think, 840 Haitian dollars for $1 US all the way down to 500 Haitian dollars for $1 US. And there was a period there where she just says, I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to let that happen. At some point, she realized that's what I have to do. And if I need to get some rice and things like that from the marketplace. And if you had money, you could get food. But as time goes on, that, of course, is going to change because that stuff's going to become less and less over time.
John Goheen, while you were talking, I was thinking about the will to do good among people, not only the people who are trying to help, but the Haitian peoples themselves, who certainly, given their history, despite the image that may have been presented, they are not just beggars in the marketplace. These are people who remember that the freed Haitian slaves sent people to New Orleans to try to free the slaves here a long time ago. So I'm thinking about the kind of dialectic between people who want to help themselves and do good, and then the opportunity for opportunists to get over on others. What did you see? What's your sense? I mean, there's on all of the cable TV channels, there's all the stuff about the pending riotous situation, and as the rains come and things get scarcer, they're building us up for people just dumping all over each other. I like to think that there is a higher level than a lot of us. That I know that both things can go on in the same person, and there are a lot of different folks. Your take on all this?
Oh, I think sometimes the media is guilty of making some of these issues problematic. Now, I have been in Haiti on other disasters before. I've been at a food handout where there was a riot that has broken out. It does occur. It has happened. It can happen, and it can be kind of a difficult situation. And now you're talking really, I think they estimate at least 1 million people in Port-au-Prince or more probably that are displaced and homeless. The Haitians are very proud people. They're very patriotic people, and but they also have had for a very long time a lot of outside assistance, either faith-based organizations or the UN, who have come in and pretty much handed them, food, and some of them have sort of taken advantage of that as far as readily accepting that, and it's not always been well received by other parts of the population who feel that you need to work to get that, and so there is a bit of a conflict in that you have some people who will readily want it and expect it, and then those who sort of feel like, well, this isn't right. So there's both sides of that. So potentially, can things get worse? Absolutely. And is that going to happen? I don't know. That's yet to be seen.
John Goheen, tell us where people can see your film, and tell me and others how it's getting distributed, and then I'll ask you one more question.
Well, this was a film for hire for Al Jazeera English, which is a global network similar to CNN International. It's already been broadcast. If you go on to they usually post everything on YouTube. So if you go onto YouTube, put in my name, Ruska Village or something like that, and Ruska is Ruuska. It'll pop up, and you can take a look at it that way.
And what's your next project?
Well, actually, I've got an idea where I would like to go back to Haiti, and it has to do with they estimate there's over 50,000 street children in Port-au-Prince, and I'd like to go back and see how they've been impacted by this earthquake.
I want to thank you for coming on Live from the Heartland. Hope we'll have you back. I'm glad you're in town teaching at Loyola, and I'll look forward to sharing some stories with you.
All right. Thanks for having me.
Thanks for coming on.
Bye.
Let's have a big round of applause for John Goheen.